Greetings, glad tidings. This is Chief Iron Bush speaking. Today, or this evening, is the day that is called Thanksgiving by many. And yet, here I am, sitting in my car, away from those that are partaking in this, and I'm physically by myself. So I would just like to put that out there. All right. I've been called names this evening for standing up for what is inside of myself, which actually is who and what I am. It's not inside of me, it is who I am. So I just wanted to add that little tidbit in for you guys to let you know that here on this night that we call Thanksgiving, I will be fasting and I refuse to eat. And I refuse to take part in any of their rituals. Anything that has been going on since this country, or this corporation that we call United States, has been established, and it goes back further than that. Since all of these religions that are in everybody's house, that everybody argues over and tells you you're gonna go to hell, calls you a witch, or calls you a pagan, or this or that, calls you every name, puts you down, you know. But their God is money, material, shiny things, the newest thing, the biggest thing. That's their God. Entertainment, empty talk, empty laughter, no wisdom, no seeking of wisdom. It's all just emptiness. And there comes a point where you have to refuse to take part in it. Now, as long as I have the moment to, I am going to touch on the power of thought. And we will begin with the type of energy that there is. You gotta have an understanding before you have an understanding. And in order to even understand thought and how to use the power of the mind, you must first have a comprehension of energy. Now, there are many kinds of energy. The most familiar, of course, is physical energy, whose grades and types are almost infinite. They got what they call gravity, it's magnetism, electromagnetism, magno-dielectric, light, heat, water power, air power, atomic, nuclear energy, stellar energy, and each one has 1,000 ramifications or consequences of each, a domino effect of using and producing each one. Now, one of the most useful and fascinating of the physical energies is electricity. It always has been. It's actually where L comes from. And then it became a dimensional thing, the 90-degree angle. Each dimension is on a 90-degree angle on top of the next dimension, but that's a whole nother teaching. Now electricity in its myriad forms basically has changed our whole way of life. Now, we didn't just start messing with electricity. We just brought it back to life, you could say, externally. The telephone, radio, the TV, there are many others just as dramatic, and many other that are way more useful. For example, we get the TV and the microwave, but the 1% has the electron microscope, which reveals the infinitely small world, and the radio telescope, which has the infinitely large world, the macro micro. And what it does is it brings it to our vision. I hear a lot of people saying, there's more than 5 senses. There's 27 senses altogether. There's 32 senses. There's only one sense, and that's touch. You only have one sense in this world, and that is touch. Every sense that there is has to involve touch. Light has to touch your eyes. Light has to touch your pineal gland. A neuron has to fire for an idea. That's a spark. That's touch. It has to touch another cell. Cells has to the mitochondria has to have a burst of energy that has to touch the nucleus wall to begin splitting of the cell to reproduce another cell. That's all touch. Taste is when something touches your taste buds. Smell is when the vapors touch your glands. Hearing is when the vibration touches your eardrum. Okay? And there's spiritual senses that involve touch that are shut down at the moment. But it's only one sense with different sub-senses. Now, back to the telescope and everything. That's all physical energies. And there are actually more subtle energies employed by man, human energies, which are not obvious, and consequently they're not so well understood, let alone understood. This is when people will call you a witch or this or that, but when they read it out of a religious book, somebody healing the blind or bringing somebody back to life, they got a whole religion of worshiping a man that the whole message was not to worship anything external, to become one with the source of your eternal soul. That was the whole message, and that it's already in you. But yet, they've turned it into this whole thing. If the same being that everybody idolizes, and not just who we call Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, all of these beings, people would freak out and lose their minds if they saw it here today. They would either think it was a scam, some kind of magic show, or they would call them a witch, a warlock, this and that. That's why nothing is happening. You all shall do greater things. Where are the greater things? It's because No one knows. Everyone belies something. And we're at the point where the age that we are in, because it doesn't matter if you're into astrology or astronomy or not, it's reality. The age is closing out, and the Piscean age has reached as far as high as the consciousness will get. Anybody that is still holding on to the old energy are not going to elevate any higher. They're going to actually start to go back down. It's like throwing a rubber ball down really, really hard. The harder you throw it down, the higher it bounces up. Well, it bounced all the way up, and now it's on its way back down. And there's a new ball coming, and that's the next age. Okay? It bounces different. It's made of new material. It's a whole different energy. The only thing constant is change. That's it. Now, no one really understands, let alone understands energy. And basically, the energies, we can break it down to etheric, emotional, mental, and psychic energies. Each one gets finer and more rapid vibratory states. So it vibrates higher and higher, gets smaller and smaller. Etheric, emotional, mental, and psychic. In order, each one gets more rapid in the vibration. Alright? Now, science that we're taught has very little to say about any of this. And if you ask about it, you get just a little bit of information, and really it's even the little bit of information you get is distorted and has prejudice. So just to quickly break it down so you have an understanding. Etheric energy is the nearest energy to physical energy. In fact, it is the energy which living entities use to manipulate and move the physical. The energy which you use every day unconsciously when you work or lift your arm or turn your head or walk or drive and turn the steering wheel, that's actually etheric energy. We live in a vast sea of life energy. All right? And every time we move or do anything, we basically are siphoning off small quantities of this sea of energy for our own use. The life energy which vibrates at the slowest rate is etheric energy. Now, someone that has no clue what they're talking about will tell you etheric energy, it's the ether. The ether is the highest of the high, this and that. Actually, it's the slowest vibrating of the energies. Its accumulation and use by beings is almost entirely automatic and well below the level of consciousness. Meaning this is your heart beating, you breathing, you walking and talking at the same time, you driving and not thinking about putting a turn signal on. Things that are just habit, or not even just habit, things that just happen. Okay, when you blink, do you know how many times you blinked your eyes today? All right, it's almost entirely automatic, and it's well below the level of consciousness. But through training, you can learn to manipulate etheric energy. This is what all the mystery schools know. This is how they're controlling the world. This is what the true teachings of Christ were. this is why they really killed him. It wasn't about nothing else. They tell you about, you are a sinner and this and that. No, he came to show you how to live. He didn't come to die, show you how to die. He came to show you how to live, not show you how to die. And not to create a new religion. Now, you can learn how to manipulate this etheric energy. It takes practice and training from a real teacher. Now, this can be of value in the practice of physical healing, which I will explain when the Great Spirit convicts me to. How you can literally heal people through the manipulation of etheric energy. This is how Christ. It's called laying on the hands on people. When you learn how to do it, you only have to put hands on people. You can put your hands only have to touch them. You just got to be in their etheric field. That's it. And if you really become a master at it, you don't even got to do that. You can literally send it miles and miles. Okay. Now, like I said, when I'm convicted by the greatest of spirit, I'll explain that one day. But this is just to give you a foundation. But most people who try to learn this find it quicker and easier to skip the etheric, how to learn about the etheric energy and go directly to the study of the mental energy. Because when it is understood and brought under control, the etheric control becomes automatic. So basically, once you truly learn what the etheric energy is and how to use it correctly. I don't really like using the word manipulate because it's got a negative connotation to it, but it's really what it is. You got to get this indoctrination of certain words out of your head. The words you think are good are actually bad. There's people on here still saying Baraka. Because I have a lot of people that, that I truly love that consider themselves Hebrew Israelites or I don't know what they're calling themselves now. It seems like things change every couple months. And that's not an insult. I'm just being real. But I've done teachings on the word Baraka, which they think is the Hebrew word for blessing, and it's not. It meant as a curse, and for the one saying it to be more and you be less. And I've showed people how it literally is. It is the abracadabra. It's where abracadabra comes from. It's the pyramid. Abracadabra and Baraka is the key that holds it all together. Anyway, that's a whole nother. But that's just an example of people using energy and not knowing what energy it is or how to use it. But they're manipulating the energy, and it has consequences, not only for themselves but others. Unless you understand these things and and you bring it under control, then you will always kind of be somewhat in the wind, no matter how sturdy or wise you may think you are. All right, but once you learn the etheric energy, it's just like I said earlier, what it is, like your heart beating and breathing and your lungs and things. That's how you will use it. You won't have to really think about it. It becomes automatic. So the next energy is emotional energy. Now, I, let me give a definition of the word energy before we move on. Energy, if you look it up on Google or wherever, it'll say it's something like it's the power by which everything acts effectively to move or change things or accomplish a result, any result, or to say like power in exercise, power in active exercise, or more simply, the capacity to perform work. So it divides energy into potential energy and kinetic energy. And anything in motion is kinetic energy. A car, a falling rock, uh, a wave in the ocean breaking, dropping a dish. That's kinetic energy. Okay. Potential energy is subdivided into two other categories. So you got kinetic energy and potential energy is the two different, types of emotional energy. All right. And then you have you got kinetic energy, that's just things moving. Then you have potential energy, which has two subdivisions, which is available energy and diffuse energy. Now, the simplest way to explain this is like if you coil up something, like coil up a spring, right? You coil up a spring real tight. All right. That spring contains available energy. All right. You go over there and if the wind or a mouse trap, a mouse trap, like a mouse doesn't have to come. If that thing is sensitive enough, if you just walk through your house, it can go off. That's available energy. Diffuse energy is like a lump of coal. It must be burned before its energy is released in the form of heat. So all life energy is diffuse, not available. Available energy is that mousetrap. Okay, a coil, like if you coil something up and it just pop open. A balloon, a balloon that's blown up that just pops out of nowhere. All right, it's readily and immediately ready. But the lump of coal it has to be burned before its energy can release. All life energy is diffuse energy, the coal. It must be converted or transformed in some way in order to be put to work. This is why, the word manipulate. If you find a better word, leave it in the comments. But right now, I know that has like a negative connotation, or because even the word control has a negative even the word use, like to use something. So I guess we could say properly use instead of manipulate. So to properly use diffuse energy in some way, to put it to work, every being, you have to learn how to do this. And every being has an array of energy transformers, which enable them to draw upon the life energy which surrounds them. All right? In your environment, where you are right now listening to this, okay? Wherever you are being, the ancient Hindus or Sanskrit term for these transformers is chakras, which means wheels. This is also what the word church means. The word church is the same as the chakras. In the book of Revelation, the 7 churches, that's the 7 chakras. It's all the the 7 seals, the 7 chakras. A seal was always circular back then with the royal seal. It was a circle imprint. They're talking about circles. A bowl. The 7 bowls. The bowl is a circle. It's all talking about these energy transformers. There's macro, micro, so it's 7 of them up in the sky as well, large ones. And there's 7 main ones, large transformers within you. The name chakra just means will. People on here all the time say, "Oh, that's evil, Chief. Chakras are evil. It's a tool of the devil." Well, it can be. It really can be. Anything out here can be. You can be a tool of the devil and not even know it through religion. You can be a Mormon person going knocking on everybody's doors, don't even know that you're being manipulated and you're actually being a tool for the devil. Intentions good, everything. Heart is pure and everything. You just are diffusing the energy and spending it somewhere where someone else has manipulated. They've manipulated your energy. See, that's the 1%. And we're going to get to that. Great Spirit willing. Now, to a person, the reason that they got the name chakras or wheels, because there's people out here, whether you know it or not, that have a psychic vision. They can see light. They can see auras. They can see different things. All right? To a person with psychic vision, they look like rapidly spinning wheels. Same thing if you zoom your camera into a star. That's exactly what a chakra looks like inside of you. It's an energy signature circle spinning around wheel with its own low frequency. Each transformer has its own frequency energy and signature. It's not going to change. It's a transformer. That particular transformer is what it is. There's people that can see it. That can see your aura. Okay? Whether you know it or not. That's not on me to try to prove it. The people that ask you to prove something are people that even if you were to prove it are still going to not believe. They're going to walk away and still say it was a trick. So that's why you don't prove nothing to anybody that says prove it. For what? Oh, how much money you got? You ain't doing nothing. You ain't taking care of your kids. You ain't doing this. What you gonna pull out receipts and start showing all the money you spend on your children? Show a picture. That's what people do on this social media, Instagram and stuff. Trying to show what they gave their children and on the birthday, or how big their house is, or their car, or what their man's got, or where they're traveling to. Not out of love and trying to show you, like look at this beautiful view. Like it's, and what you don't know is that them same people, that's a 10% of their life they're showing you. The other 90% is usually miserable. They arguing with the people they love the most. They laying around not doing nothing because the only thing they can do and been indoctrinated to do is use their energy to get money. And it does something to their heart and soul, which hardens it. And no matter how much you talk to them and try to get through to them, they just don't get it. It don't matter how much you love them. It gets to a point where the only way that you're going to get through to them is if you break the cycle. And sometimes that most of the time that either takes stillness, because you've been trying to get through with movement. Sometimes that's the only thing that can break that is stillness. That's why if you have been learning from myself in this school, because this is a school, then you know I always say the origin of eternal soul, life, light, and rest If you don't know, rest is actually the crest, which is the Christ, which is the seed of the mother, which is in you, which is the middle where your Torah, where all the vibration come from. It's the vibration. And it can be quiet. And when it's quiet, they can't detect it. It only becomes light once it vibrates. And that's the power of the mind, the God mind. We're gonna get to that. All right, so where was I? So emotional energy. Yeah. So no, chakras. So yeah, and chakra, that just means circle, and that's what church means too. Circe or circ. It's people like, what's it called? The LA's Large Hadron CERN. CERN is over the ancient god Circes and this and that, and it's the Abaddon. They're gonna open up the abyss and da 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 da. All that is talking about you. If you really believe, if you really know that that's gonna happen, and you got enough people that know that's gonna happen, then y'all gonna manifest that. That's the power of the God mind. But there's too many people swaying. There's too many lukewarm people. I'd rather you be hot or cold, because at least you're gonna know something, one way or the other. In the middle, all you do is believe whatever comes your way. You believe the next thing, the very next thing. Okay, so yeah, so people can see chakra. That's how we were able to do way more than we're doing right now, and it's coming back though. The most fully open. All right. First of all, so raw life energy is pure and without any distinguishing characteristics. So that's like what people call like that's the aura, or what comes from it's when it first comes out of the middle, the crest of the Christ, the vibration. It has no distinguishing characteristic. That's why people are like, oh, the Father and this and that. That's not the origin of your soul. That's a characteristic. Father. So is the Great Mother. So we can only have adjectives to try to explain things. But when people try to explain it through religion, that's where the problem happens. That means you've fallen into idolatry by trying to explain your point of view. You're not supposed to fall into that selfishness, that's pride. And you don't care about your brother or your sister when you fall into religion, and then you tell people what's right for them. But what if they do follow your lead, start telling other people what's right for them? And everybody out here is telling everybody else what's right for them. So no one is living what they feel on the inside of them and in harmony with the origin of eternal soul, life, light, and rest. Everyone else is doing what everyone else is saying. So everybody is one step out of balance, out of alignment. You got somebody else doing what you're supposed to do. They got somebody else doing what they're supposed to. They're projecting everything on someone else, even with blame. The person that's guilty is blaming the next person every time. And then it goes on. Then they blame somebody. They take it out on somebody. They take it out on somebody. When we're supposed to be doing good things like that, the good things are supposed to trickle on like that. Pay it forward. Play it forward. That's what's supposed to happen. But they've got us indoctrinated doing it all the way backwards. So, raw life energy is pure and without any distinguishing characteristics. But when it is transferred through one of these circles and what we call chakras or seals or churches, when the human energy goes through one of those basically like portals almost, it takes on the quality of that particular transformer, just like the planets, what they tell you is planets. Oh, Saturn is the time, and Mars is war, Venus is love or lust. Each one got good and bad things, so don't get it twisted. That's all. That's a story just like these books. The only difference is that is actually out here in the sky. These books man wrote. When you looking up at the sky, whether you're in a simulation or not, something higher than you made that. Or if it was you was in a higher state of consciousness that you're not currently in. So why wouldn't you look up? That don't mean make it idolatry. But you looking down at the books. And then that's another man that done passed on his energy to you, and you walking his walk now with a book. That's what you're doing. Give me 1 second. So the most fully open and active chakra in average humans is the solar plexus. Most people will tell you it's the root chakra. It's not. It's the solar plexus, whose product is emotional energy. I know you probably heard something different. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you from the ancestors. This is the real deal. The solar plexus, its chief product is emotional energy. And in consequence, these people are emotionally focused, which means that most, if not all of their actions are taken as the result of an emotional impulse or urge. Even some very good teachers with very well-developed minds, very smart, intelligent, everything, permit their better judgment to be swayed by the power of the emotions when the reverse should be the case. But see, the higher the intelligence, the more subtle it'll be. So they'll do it in people with very high consciousness, they can subtly be a narcissist and still manipulate you at the same time to go against what's truly inside of you. You'll be praising them. You'll be thanking them for distorting your life. You'll literally be praising them, tagging them on all your videos and things online. If you live online, I don't know. I don't live online. I don't know, but I've seen that people tagging people on every post they put out and stuff, and this and that, trying to get attention from certain people. Like, look at me. Like, you putting certain people on a pedestal. Like they gotta see you. You need their approval. That's a sickness, beloved. You're out of alignment. You're out of alignment. And I know a rebuttal to many people will have said about that. Oh no, I just want them to see. Oh, well, you only got one friend. You only tagging one person. 5 people. Have you met the 10, 30, 40 people that you tagging and this and that? Have you met them in person? Do you love them? Yeah, you might love them. But what are your intentions? What energy are you tapping into, and what is causing it? That's what we gotta figure out. If you want to learn how, the highest knowledge is knowledge of self, and this is all about you. So, yeah. So basically, everybody's emotionally focused. They're living out of their third chakra or their solar plexus, which means that most of their actions are a result of an urge, a reaction, like an instant reaction instead of a calculated response. Never mind. I'll speak about that at a different time. But there's built into each person a subconscious block to the full use of mental power until each person's emotions have been brought under the control of the mind. That's what blockages are. People talking about, oh, I think this chakra is blocked, or this and that. How do I unblock this and that? You gotta get in alignment, start living right. Living right, your right, not somebody else's right. You gotta get in alignment with yourself. With yourself. First, you gotta get in line with your higher self. And that's only first. That ain't God. Now you God. Because you in alignment with your higher self. Now you God on earth. Now you got a long way to go before you can even start contemplating that. Is it there? Of course. Is your mom part of you? Are you part of your mom? Yeah. So is the potential in you to be just like your mom or just like your father? I'm not, in a positive sense. Like if they were somebody that did very well, you look up to. That's why most people don't have a lot of people in their life right now that they can look at like that. They do it through unconscious love, just from being a decent soul. They love them, but they don't consciously love them because so many people have been out of touch with themselves. They ain't been doing what they're supposed to do. So there's so many broken families, so many people that don't have nobody to look up to. So they give you a religion to take that place of that father, to take that place of that mother. And then you turn it to idolatry. Take that place of that brother, that friend you never had. They play on the harp of your heart, the harp strings of your heart. And then even in the real messed up ones, then they'll start doing it in the physical. The preacher man or just a regular man out here, you met him first talking about God, now all he worried about is sex. Reeled you in. But that's a whole nother topic. Alright. Let me see. So, now let me tell you something the blockages. So the blockages is for you the blockage is so you don't destroy yourself. So there's a block put on. You can't go to the next level until you can't get an upgrade on tools, because a tool can be a weapon too. It's like explosives, like mining. If I'm gonna give you on your first day a whole thing of C4 and tell you line the cave, we blowing out granite, and I'm gonna give you like the top job to make sure everything lined up when we get ready to blow out a whole cave. That don't make no sense. You're gonna take you out and other people around you. So you got a block on how high or what energy you have, what level of energy you have access to right now. And everybody think all these people talking about solar flash and this and that because they want all the work to be done for them. They want an instant, I'm a 9 ether being, so I deserve it. My hair is coiled up to the sun, so when the solar flash come, all the white people gonna die and can't make it because y'all 6 ether beings, and I got curly hair, so I'm straight. And like my skin is darker than yours, so like I can be in the sun. Do you realize how stupid that sounds? People talking about they from different planets and stuff. When you're in the 3D realm right now. You're in the 3D realm right now. People are trying to tell you, explain a whole universe of a 3D realm. When you got every dimension sitting in front of you right now, you don't gotta go nowhere. All you gotta do is learn how to utilize energy. That's it. And you don't need no scientists. You don't need Einstein. You don't need Tesla. You don't need nobody outside of yourself. You don't even need the whole world performing with it and using it. All you need to do is learn it yourself. And I'm not talking about floating around in some astral plane. That's low. The astral plane, that's some old, man, look, that's no different than doing drugs. You on the same plane as somebody smoking what? Doing, why do you think they be doing it? LSD and MDM, whatever. DMT and all that. People can go on that plane with, that's what that is. Just by doing drugs. That's why people encounter disagreeable, entities there, because spiritually that's where people that's on trips is on and all of that. That's nothing. People thinking that's some kind of your DNA been upgraded. No, you just access the energy that you might have asked for and searched out that you wasn't ready for. You got a blockage internally on you, but you trying to take a shortcut and go around it, and come in through the side door, and you gonna get took advantage of every time by the adversary. The opposite energy that you think you intend to have. Now, let me see. So, something very important about emotion is, except in certain rare and unusual situations, only a small part of the emotion you feel is actually your own. Just what I just got done saying. People they project on you. So only a little bit of your emotion is actually self-generated. Do you know that? Probably like 20%. The rest is coming from external. About 20% of your emotion is self-generated. The emotional world is like an ocean, and our emotional bodies are like fish in it. And sometimes the sea is rough, and we are disturbed and kind of tossed about. Other times the sea is calm, and we feel serene, and we thinking, oh, it's the way the moon's lined up. And this could be, but it ain't got nothing to do with just you. It's the energy of the whole. That's why the controllers try to get the energy all out of whack, so everybody be out of whack. But you got to get yourself up to a level where it don't matter how rough the sea is or how calm it is. That external factor, that's what Christ was trying. That's the whole story of Christ sleep in the boat when the storm was going on. They talking about how you sleep, man. The whole world going down. Trump, this and that. Oh man, this is crazy. The dollar crash, yo. It's man. Look, it's just $2,000 a month. The market of beasts is blah 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 blah. And Christ consciousness sleep in the boat. What is y'all talking about? Y'all's falling for the okie doke. Okay, since y'all so scared, sea, calm down, wind, calm down, boom. Leave me alone for a second, y'all need a rest. Boom. That's the use of energy. You literally can get to that level. That's the whole story of Christ. Everybody want to they have took the story of Christ so far left, it's crazy. It's insane.